Hi everyone, I am the Sarcastic Sloth, and welcome to my channel. So of course, if you're subscribed to my channel, and if you've been keeping up with the videos that I've been putting out, I've been following this Trisha Paytas, Jeffree Star, Hair by Jay, or Hair Minion, and Shane Dawson drama pretty closely. But I thought I'd take a bit of a different tack in today's video, because I could obviously cover Trisha's latest video where she writes off completely Shane Dawson and Ryland. I could also comment on like the 200 TikToks that she did last night. I could also comment on the terrible podcast where Ryland is pretending like he doesn't know what the hell Trisha is on about. But I thought I would take a bit of a different tact, and I'm going to sort of give my thoughts on the situation overall. I want to comment somewhat on the attitudes that are surrounding this particular drama. So, without further ado, let's crack on. So as per usual, everything I'm going to be discussing today are my own thoughts and opinions, and if you do not like that, ta-ra! I'll touch on it briefly before I go over everything overall, but basically what happened last night, Ryland did a podcast where he was in so many words saying, I don't know why Trisha is so mad at us, if only she talked to us, then we could do something about this. Then of course Trisha took a lot of umbrage to this. She didn't do 200 TikToks, but it was about 20 minutes in total worth of TikToks saying about how like Ryland and Shane are lying, and that like Ryland is basically a worm, that they only are concerned in public image and manipulating people so that they come out the best and on top. And then she released a video on her Trisha Paytas channel where she summed all of this up, but it was less manic because it wasn't just her going off into TikTok. And she fully came out and said that basically Shane Dawson is a racist, which is obviously not news. It's not news to anyone. I don't understand why that sort of became news, but I'll touch on that a little bit later. Before I was going to do my original video, I had like this weird sort of deja vu where I was like, I'm pretty sure that, let me just say, I've been covering drama pretty much on this channel. Well, I mean, I started in April, so I mean, it's definitely less than the year, maybe even half of the year, where I was covering this brand of drama. And the one thing that I was thinking was, I'm pretty sure we've been through all of this before. And the thing that I found out like quite bizarre when I was having this weird deja vu, where I was like, am I in the Twilight Zone right now? Is how poor are everyone's memories, not just in the drama community, not just the drama channels, although it seems to be the case, but obviously the people who follow Shane and Jeffree and anyone else aren't just drama channel centric, they're following other parts of YouTube as well. So how piss poor are everyone's memories? Because I went back, I had like a bit of a narcissistic moment where I went back and I watched a couple of my own videos. So I watched the video Shane Dawson was never in the beauty industry, which I'll put here. Everything that's transpiring now I had already said, and it wasn't like I was the only one saying it. Tons of other people were saying it too, that he's a manipulator, that he's very jealous of people, that he's only concerned with public image. That's why he released that whole I'm leaving the beauty industry tweet in the first place, because he wanted to control his own narrative and skulk off to do whatever it is that he was looking to do. And at this point in time, I feel that he's trying to control his own narrative through Ryland. Ryland's just a mouthpiece. To me, he's just there because he's like inoffensive, like outwardly inoffensive to people, and he's looking to smooth over Jeffree and Shane's images constantly. They're both in the same shitty boat. They were once both in the same ivory tower. They've both become unraveled somewhat. Shane more so than Jeffree, because Jeffree's always been at home with being the villain, but Shane was trying to cultivate this whole like, I'm everyone's favourite cuddly empath, and you know, we know that that's not true now. We know that it's not true, because the funny thing is that I was thinking about in terms of people's memories and how piss poor they are, and why it took like Trisha to come out and say that Shane is a racist, and people are like, oh gee Fred, I guess he must be. Last year we saw like endless reams of footage of him being inappropriate with minors, saying racist things, doing racist things, dressing up in racist ways, and then everyone's just gonna sort of pretend like it's a surprise now. Like, you saw it with your own eyes, so like, at what point did you stop trusting your own eyes and now you trust Trisha instead? It's just really bizarre to me. Like, it's just, I don't get that aspect of things. And the same goes for Jeffree, but like, I feel like Jeffree is sort of more self-evident with that. His stands like the fact that he's the villain, and they'll go along with this whole, you know, he's pretending to inoffensive and all the rest of it. But I think deep down they really want him to kick off the way that he used to, and they're maybe sticking around for that because they know that he still harbours those opinions. It's like, it doesn't just happen where you just drop all of those things like in a year, less than a year, just because what, you know, because there was a bit of drama. He's weathered many storms up until that point. Shane was almost like his mascot and public relations officer at one point, you know, where it's like, well, if Shane vouches for him, well, Trisha says this, because Shane vouched for Jeffree, she trusted him more, and, you know, she said that she did look up to him at one point, but I think that's just because, like, she was really obsessed with celebrities and wanting to be a celebrity at any cost, so much so that she was on, like, every reality TV show growing up. It just seems like so many people just forgot. It's like, it was less than a year ago. The reason why I, like, with this whole drama that, you know, well, one, I decided I wanted to be more on top of things as they were breaking. It just so happened it was this whole Trisha being bullied by the hair minion, and then that bled on to what seems to be Dramageddon 4. No one's really calling it that. It's not like outwardly... You know, it's more of a joke at the moment, probably because Dramageddons tend to happen in summer, so... What's the winter version of Dramageddon? Comment down below and let me know what you think it should be. This is all very strange to me, that this is like new information, and like people are sort of surprised by all of this. Riff Ryland too, like I said, he's like a mouthpiece, but he was a mouthpiece for Jeffree. I said that in my my thoughts about Jeffree's appearance on The Sip. I think that's what it's called. See, it's such like a, like, no one cares about that podcast unless, like, you know, Jeffree's on there, then, you know, whatever. Like I said, I just had this weird, like, sort of hit of, like, hang about, we've danced this dance before, we've sang this song before, like, how many times are we gonna have this whole, like, oh, well, here's all of this, like, gross stuff that these guys have done, and then what, we'll just etch-a-sketch it out of our memories, and then when something else crops up and someone, you know, someone else points it out, then everyone just goes, oh yeah, that happened, oh my god, this is terrible, throw away your conspiracy palettes, this is outrageous. And then, like, yeah, turns out no one chucked out their conspiracy palettes the last time. I am very keen to see how this whole comeback and what that comeback is going to be for Shane, because I think it's going to be a damn sight harder for him now. Not to say that he can't do it, because like I said, he's got enough sycophants, he's got enough stans who would, you know, they freaked out over him bringing out like a couple of tubs of slime, for Christ's sake. So yeah, his comeback is gonna, no worries, no one will care what he's done or anything of that nature. Like I said with Jeffree in one of my previous videos, the fans were there, and the fans, you know, were like all about the black facing and all about the weird racist jokes that he would make, and all about like the inappropriate things with minors. They were all about that at one point, and they followed it closely. And then, so are we actually going to believe that they're just going to go, oh no, that's bad now? That's ridiculous. I can't be seen to be liking such things. They're all about it. Like I said, they freak out over slime. So, and that was like 40-year-olds I saw freaking out over his slime too. That sounded weirder than I meant for it to come out, but I think you get my point. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of get this out. Maybe you could class it as a sloth rant. I mean, I haven't had one of those in a while. Like, I just felt like, is this going to happen next year now, or is it going to happen in summer? Is it just get less and less time between like people forgetting and people remembering again? It's just ridiculous, man. The reason why I was following this Trisha thing so fervently is because what Hair Minion came out with was so shocking and abhorrent to me. It's funny as well, some people are saying like, oh, isn't this like quite an interesting thing that this is coming out round about the time that she's buying a new house? That logic would work if like her and Hair Minion was in on it. He's lost his job, so I don't get what your point is there. You know, you could say maybe her keeping it going is like, oh well, maybe she's just trying to make more money because obviously she's got a new house, but to say that she would get him to come out of all of that stuff out of the blue, cost him his own job, and then go on to this huge, you know, sort of unveiling of all of these things, or seeming unveiling, like a lot of people knew these things already. It was just like her coming to her own realization, but I didn't realize so many other people were going to be like, oh gee, this is completely new to me too. But, you know, whatever, at the end of the day. We'll see how this all goes, like I said. But yeah, I didn't want to do the same kind of video where I'm like, oh, what's Trish done now? This is crazy. Not saying that I'm not going to do that in the future, but at this point today, I was just like, are we actually going to pretend like Trisha came out with some new information then, when that information was there? We saw it all. We saw all this footage last year, and then people just forgot. Bizarre. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and of course, as always, stay safe out there.